While everyone's talking about Paris and the French Riviera, one city in the south of France has quietly become the fastest growing in the country. No major headlines. No tourist rush. Just steady, relentless growth, year after year. This is Montpellier, and almost nobody outside France has heard of it. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why people, especially young people, keep choosing this city over Paris, Lyon, or even the coast next door. And why that quiet growth is about to change how the rest of the world sees it. Montpellier doesn't look like a boomtown. The historic center, known as the Écusson, named for its shield-like shape, is all narrow medieval streets, pastel facades, and the grand 19th century Place de la Comédie at its heart. It feels Mediterranean before it feels French: palm trees, slower mornings, café terraces that stay full well past lunch. Locals move at a pace that feels almost defiantly unhurried for a city growing this fast. But step just beyond the old stone walls, and the picture changes. Cranes line the skyline. New tram extensions cut through neighborhoods that didn't exist a generation ago. The contrast between the old and the new isn't subtle here, it's the entire identity of the city right now. To understand why Montpellier is growing, you have to go back further than most people expect. Its university traces its roots back to the 12th century, and its medical school is recognized as one of the oldest in the Western world, training physicians for over 800 years. That academic foundation never really faded. Today, Montpellier holds one of the largest student populations relative to its size of any city in France. By some estimates, roughly 1 in 5 residents is enrolled in higher education. A city that young inevitably behaves differently. Bars stay busy on weeknights. Co-working spaces fill up faster than office towers. And critically, many of those students don't leave after graduation, they stay, and that's where the real shift began. Over the past 2 decades, Montpellier built a reputation as a hub for biotech, agritech, and digital startups, earning recognition as one of France's strongest tech ecosystems outside Paris. Local universities feed directly into research institutes and startup incubators, creating a pipeline that's hard to find elsewhere in the country. Companies stayed because graduates stayed. And graduates stayed because the lifestyle is genuinely hard to beat: a noticeably lower cost of living than Paris, a Mediterranean coastline less than half an hour away, and a climate that delivers sunshine most of the year. Add in one of the most extensive and visually striking tram networks in Europe, connecting the old town to new developments in minutes, and you get a city engineered, almost by accident, for people who want a real life alongside their career, not just a paycheck. Montpellier has leaned into this identity deliberately. The city actively markets itself to startups, offering incubator space and positioning itself as an alternative to the overcrowded, expensive ecosystems of Paris and Lyon. It's worked well enough that the region now hosts a growing density of biotech and digital companies, alongside research partnerships tied to its universities. For founders priced out of Paris rents, Montpellier offers something rare: proximity to talent without the capital city overhead. That's the quiet economic engine driving the population growth you don't see in postcard shots of the old town. Ask residents what life here actually feels like, and most describe a kind of balance that's increasingly rare in bigger French cities. Rent is still rising, but it's nowhere near Paris-level pressure, yet. Weekends often mean a short trip to the coast rather than a long, expensive getaway. Markets are a daily ritual rather than a tourist activity. The pace of life still leans toward long lunches and evening walks rather than the rushed commute culture of larger capitals. It's a city that, for now, lets people have both ambition and a slower life at the same time, a combination that's becoming harder to find anywhere in Western Europe. Growth this fast isn't free. Housing demand has intensified noticeably, and competition for apartments, especially during the student rental season, has become a real source of frustration for newcomers and longtime residents alike. Some locals worry the city's character is shifting under the weight of new construction, and that the very affordability that attracted people here is slowly eroding. It's a familiar story in growing cities worldwide. The qualities that make a place attractive are often the first things growth puts at risk. Montpellier hasn't tipped into crisis the way Paris or Barcelona have, but the warning signs are visible if you know where to look. Montpellier is proof that growth doesn't have to come from a capital city or a famous coastline alone. Sometimes it comes from getting the fundamentals right: education, climate, transport infrastructure, and just enough charm to make people want to stay rather than just visit. It may not be on most travel lists yet, and it may not stay this affordable or this quiet for much longer. Give it a few more years, and the rest of the world may finally catch on to what's already obvious to the people living here. If you want more cities that are quietly becoming the next big thing, subscribe. There's a lot more of the world to uncover.